Now that we've covered what XML is roughly, where it came from, how the W3C oversees it, and so forth, I want to give you an XML overview because the number one question everybody wants to know, and I want to make sure you nail this, is the big question is, what can I do with XML? And the answer to that is, what do you want to do with XML? Now, I'm going to give you just a real quick diagram here to show you one of the many possibilities, because what happens is you will use XML in a little bit different way in every different application of XML that you undertake. Look at this simple example first. Let's say that we've got two databases, and these are on different platforms, or they're different databases, or you've got security issues between them, and for some reason you need to trade data between these two databases. Now, this could be any scenario you want, any ones of the ones I just mentioned, or perhaps that this is two different companies. This is one company here, this is another company here, and we're seeing this all the time now in corporate America, that even though two companies may be strong competitors, they do have data and information that behooves them both to share that information and work together. It could be for regulatory purposes, it could be for marketing purposes, it could be all kinds of things. But for whatever reason, these two databases, obviously if they're on different platforms, are very different in structure, in style, and then again security requirements and so forth means we can't just connect these two databases and share data. So this is one of the places we could use XML, and I just want to plant this in your brain and let you think about this as we go through here, because we're about to talk about what is a document and what's the big deal about XML documents and how they're formed. What I want you to get a picture of is between these two databases where we need to share this data, the one thing that we can do is we can make XML the common denominator between the two databases. Notice we can extract the data that we want to share from our database into an XML document. Now make sure this is where we're concentrating in this course. And what we're actually concentrating on is how this XML document is built, how it's managed, how it's structured. Because the tags that you're going to see in just a few minutes that are in this XML document are totally up to us. The only thing that's mandated by the various recommendations and so forth in the W3C is the structure of this XML document. Therefore, the competing company over here can generate their own XML document, and then in a way that you're going to see later on in the course, we can make sure that these two XML documents are compatible, and then we can transfer information freely between each other. Now, what's going to happen is if I take this XML document and pass it to this company, then I can do some XML tricks, or I can use the .NET framework for Microsoft, I can use the Java platform or whatever to then parse that XML data and insert it into the database. Same thing here. When this goes over, we'll parse it, put it into the database. That's the beauty of XML. Now again, let me stress, this is going to be somewhat different depending on the various applications you put XML in. Microsoft has enough twists and turns to drive you nuts. Java has enough little differences in there, and these people will argue amongst themselves about which one's the true standard and which one's the better and all that sort of stuff. Try to avoid that. Just determine how you can use XML, and as we go through the video you'll see this more clearly, and then determine how you want to go about doing it. And I'll show you some of those differences as we move through.